Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely unpack the explosive market movement of a highly specialized engineering firm, Shivalik Bimetal Controls Limited. Now, if you track global industrial supply chains, you've probably seen this name flashing across the financial tickers lately. But this isn't some flashy, speculative tech startup, not at all. This is a quiet, behind-the-scenes industrial giant that is effectively powering some of the absolute largest technological and infrastructure shifts happening across the globe right now.
Okay, let's just dive right into the sheer scale of this move. On August 7, 2026, this relatively under-the-radar company surged 19.99% in a single day, locking exactly at its 52-week high of $920.90 per share. That kind of single-day price expansion, especially at those upper resistance levels, well, it doesn't just happen by accident, and it's certainly not just retail speculation. Hitting a 52-week high with a near 20% surge in one session, that represents a sudden, massive shift in market sentiment. It means major heavy-hitting players decided this stock was severely undervalued and moved aggressively to lock in their positions.
And the momentum behind that move? Honestly, it's staggering. What we're witnessing here is a multi-month structural breakout. Essentially, the stock price shattered a heavy ceiling it had been stuck under for months, and it did so with a massive trading volume of 7.39 million shares changing hands. Accompanying all this volume is a 14-week Relative Strength Index, or RSI, sitting at 76.19. For those of you who might not look at technical indicators every day, an RSI climbing above 70 basically means a stock is experiencing extreme upward momentum and relentless buying pressure. In technical terms, that signals incredibly strong institutional buying, breaking it completely out of its consolidation range.
So to figure out why the big money is moving in, here's our agenda for today. 1. Anatomy of a breakout. 2. The science of joining metals. 3. Megatrends fueling the growth. 4. An impenetrable economic moat. 5. Financial health by the numbers. And finally, 6. The bull versus bear case. We're going to peel back the layers to understand exactly what this company makes, the massive megatrends driving its demand, and figure out if this growth is actually sustainable.
Let's start with Section 1, Anatomy of a Breakout, and look at the immediate fundamental catalyst that sparked this massive stock surge in the first place.
The Q1 FY27 earnings report completely grabbed the market's attention, and for very good reason. The raw numbers show exactly why investors reacted so violently. Sales jumped over 33% year-over-year to 182 crores. But actually, what's more impressive, operating profit jumped nearly 41% to 45.8 crores. This top-line growth and operating efficiency culminated in a massive 43.5% year-over-year surge and consolidated net profit, bringing it to 33 crores for the quarter. So this wasn't just some chart momentum, this was driven by hard, undeniable, fundamental earnings growth.
Moving right along to Section 2, the science of joining metals. To truly grasp the core investment thesis here, we need to translate their highly technical products into plain English. First up, we have thermostatic bimetals. These act as critical safety switches in everything from massive industrial switchgear right down to your everyday household appliances. They're made by bonding distinct metals together through high-pressure diffusion. Because these metals have different thermal expansion properties, they actually bend predictably when temperatures change. This mechanically opens or closes a circuit to prevent a catastrophic overload. Think about the sheer scale of that for a second. Almost every major electrical appliance in the country relies on this component to, well, not catch fire. And Shivalik, they control a staggering 85 to 90% of the entire domestic market for these bimetals.
But while bimetals are their historic foundation, the really crucial part of their future are their low-ohmic electron-beam-welded, or EBW, shunt resistors. This is where the engineering gets super technical. They literally fuse copper with precision resistance alloys, like manganese, using high-energy electron beams inside a complete vacuum. Why go through all that trouble? To meticulously measure electrical current flow across high-tech circuits. Think of the shunt resistor as the ultimate, hyper-accurate gatekeeper for electrical current. If you need exact voltage drop calculations, which is absolutely non-negotiable for safety in modern battery systems, you just have to use a highly precise shunt resistor.
So the crucial takeaway here is the aggressive shift in their overall product mix. While the bimetals provide their baseline stability, it's these high-tech shunt resistors that are now driving the business forward, making up over 40% of their total revenue. And they aren't just supplying local demand either. With over half of their total sales being exported globally across 37 different countries, Shivalik has entrenched itself as a critical, totally irreplaceable cog in the global electronics supply chain.
All right, Section 3, Megatrends fueling the growth. Let's zoom out to the macro picture and see how this specific product mix taps into two massive structural tailwinds.
The first, and arguably the most explosive megatrend, is the global electrification of transport. The underlying math of this transition is what's truly driving Shivalik's volume. Check this out. A traditional internal combustion engine car uses just 1 to 2 shunt resistors for basic battery monitoring. But a modern electric vehicle? It requires up to 16 times more shunt resistors per single vehicle. They are absolutely essential for high-voltage battery management systems, electrical inverters, and fast charges. As EV adoption spreads globally, Shivalik's volume scales exponentially, by a multiple of up to 16 for every single gas car replaced. With automotive applications already generating 50 to 60% of Shivalik's shunt volumes, the EV boom is a massive, direct catalyst.
And if that wasn't enough, add to that the massive infrastructure overhaul going on right now. I'm talking about the transition of 250 million legacy utility meters to digital smart meters under India's Smart Meter National Program. 250 million units. That is a colossal total addressable market. Legacy analog meters didn't need these highly precise shunts, but modern digital smart meters absolutely require low-ohmic shunt resistors for exact digital readouts and to fiercely resist magnetic tampering. And here's why this matters deeply to us. This company stands as the primary domestic supplier of these exact components for the state power utilities rolling out this new infrastructure.
Which brings us to Section 4, an impenetrable economic moat. Now, with all this incredible global demand, you might logically ask, why don't well-funded competitors just jump in, build a factory, and steal their market share?
Well, it really comes down to an incredibly deep, almost impenetrable economic moat they've built over decades. First, there's the technology itself. Proprietary high-vacuum electron beam welding requires immensely heavy capital expenditure and highly specialized engineering knowledge that literally takes years to perfect. But the absolute biggest barrier to entry? That would be the punishing 3 to 5 year automotive OEM qualification cycle. Designing, testing, and field trialing components for car manufacturers takes years of vetting. And once you're finally locked in as a supplier, you are generally locked in for the entire life cycle of that vehicle platform. Switching vendors is just way too risky and expensive for an auto buyer. Plus, Shivalik's complete in-house integration allows them to deliver finished components with fast 4 to 20-week lead times. This gives buyers supply chain reliability that effectively starves out new, slower competitors.
Let's dive into Section 5, Financial Health by the Numbers. A deep moat and great tech sound wonderful in theory, but let's look at the hard financial data that actually underpins this operation.
Their underlying balance sheet and return metrics are practically pristine. Let's contextualize the size first. This is a company with a market capitalization of roughly 4,418 crores, generating a robust trailing EBITDA of 95.42 crores. But here is the true holy grail for a rapidly growing manufacturing business. They operate with a highly conservative debt-to-equity ratio of just 0.13. That means they are funding massive capacity expansions almost entirely internally without taking on dangerous leverage. Simultaneously, they're consistently generating a return on capital employed, or ROCE, north of 26% and a return on equity around 19 to 21%. Pushing out those kinds of high returns without relying on heavy debt is incredibly difficult in industrial manufacturing, yet over a 10-year average, they've compounded profit growth at an astonishing 40%.
And, institutional money is clearly doing the exact same math. When domestic mutual funds steadily build a nearly 10% equity stake in an under-the-radar engineering firm, and 66 different foreign portfolio investors establish meaningful positions, that signals deep institutional conviction. Smart money doesn't continuously accumulate shares and lock up capital like that unless they are highly confident in the long-term defensibility of that market position.
Finally, Section 6, the bull versus bear case. As an impartial explainer, we absolutely must balance these incredible growth catalysts against the real-world operational and market risks.
So here's how objective reality shakes out. The bull case is abundantly clear. The company absolutely dominates its highly profitable niche with an 85 to 90% domestic bimetal monopoly. It's surfing massive, unstoppable global electrification and smart grid tailwinds, and executing it all with stellar capital efficiency. On the flip side, we have to look closely at the bear case. This business requires a massive amount of working capital. They're sitting on a high 179-day inventory cycle just to ensure they have the raw materials they need. And those raw materials, primarily copper and silver, are largely unhedged. That means sudden wild swings in global commodity prices could squeeze their profit margins completely unexpectedly.
Finally, the market already knows this is a great company, which is exactly why it trades at a demanding valuation multiple of nearly 50 times trailing earnings. At that price, the market is basically pricing in perfection, leaving absolutely zero room for operational missteps.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to end our explainer today. Is a near 50x PE ratio a fair price to pay for what is essentially a virtual monopoly in a secular growth industry? Does securing a bulletproof supplier at the very heart of the global EV and smart grid revolution justify paying such a high premium today? It is a fascinating balance of an impenetrable technological moat versus a highly demanding market price. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack all of this, and I really hope this deeper look helps you understand exactly what makes this industrial powerhouse tick.